Please proceed.
Good morning, sir. What, sir, is your name?
Kouri Wright.
Spelled W-R-I-G-H-T.
Yep,
Did you know Eric Richins?
I did.
How?
Eric was a really good friend of mine and also business partner. Met him in high school. He was an acquaintance of my brother. Met him through him. Became good friends through the hunting world. He was a rancher. I liked hard work. He loved hard work. And we became friends almost immediately through that. That led to a lifelong of events together and fun together and work together. We had a lot of good times. Shortly after I met him, he came to work for a family business as a hod tender. Got to teach him what hod tending is all about and hard work that way, which was fun. We both served LDS missions. Shortly after that, came home, continued to work together through that family business. In 2010, we decided that it was time to separate from that business and start our own. We started our own masonry company together, and that was another journey in and of itself. That was fun.
Is that masonry company C&E?
Yes, C&E Stone Masonry.
Is that for Cody and Eric?
Yes. And we worked in that masonry company together for almost 12 years, 11 and a half years or so.
How often would you see him when running your company together?
See him a couple times a week probably. We ate lunch fairly often. In the fall, I saw him a lot because we were out in the hills and doing fun stuff, whether it be on the ranch or up in the mountains. We spent a lot of time together in the fall. We spent a lot of lunches together while we worked and things like that, but talked to him pretty much every day on the phone if I didn't see him.
When you talk about spending a lot of time together in the fall, is that hunting?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time.
About how many days each fall would the two of you hunt together?
We would spend the end of August and most of September and sometimes October and sometimes November and sometimes that bled into December, January, and February. But
And
quite a few days.
Would you travel together to hunt?
Yes. Yes, we went on different trips as well.
What was Eric's personality?
Eric's feisty. Eric's hardworking. Eric's the life of the party. Eric's funny. Depends where he's at and what he's doing. He can be very fun to be around, very comforting at times, and also he can tell you what you've done wrong and make sure that you knew that it was wrong and that should have been done differently. And so, good personality.
What was he like personality-wise in business?
Business, he was serious. He took that very serious. That was one of the things that he was very passionate about. He wanted to grow C&E. He wanted to be successful. He wanted to do the best he could with that. He came from a background of hard work and business as well, and saw that and wanted to replicate that from his parents, I'm sure. But he was very serious when it came to business, wanted to make sure that things were done right and wanted to grow that business.
Were you able to interact with Eric and his boys?
Yes.
What are some examples of that?
One that comes to mind was he asked me, I did a lot of baseball growing up. I pitched in particular, and he asked me to work with Carter with some pitching lessons. We went over and worked with Carter and helped him learn how to pitch. That was one that comes to mind.
What was Eric like as a father?
Competitive, dedicated. He wanted to know what my kids were up to so he could tell me what his kids were up to and how well they were doing as well. He wanted his kids to be the best on the team. He wanted them to succeed. He wanted to make sure that I knew that how well they'd done over the weekend and how good they were doing in all their sports.
What was your business relationship in C&E?
We were 50-50 partners. So we were, I ran half the business, he ran half the business, although that wasn't like a perfectly straight line, right? We did paver, stone, tile work. I took care of tile and paver work. Eric took care of the stonework side. So we did have it split to where he took care of his projects, I took care of mine. We overlapped in the bookwork end of things or in the administration side of things. But as far as work went, he had relationships with people that I didn't, and so he would take care of those clients and I would take care of others.
How many people did C&E employ in early 2022?
Approximately 90.
And about how many projects at any given time was C&E running?
When Eric passed, I obviously stepped into a full-time role in that whole business. I remember counting 47 projects.
What was C&E's business outlook in early 2022?
Good. It was great. Business was good, and business continued to be good, and was projecting upward. Each year we'd done a little bit more, and it was definitely on its way up.
Did you and Eric have any plans for the business before he passed?
We had, I'm more conservative than Eric was, and so my plan was always to just be okay with where we were at. Eric's plan was, let's grow this thing and keep going. And I was like, good with where we were at a lot of the time. He definitely was very motivated to continue to do more and more and be better and bigger and better.
Did C&E have an office?
It had my house and a small office at Eric's house. We both had home offices, and so we ran the business from his office and my office at our residential home.
Did Eric use a C&E computer?
Yes.
Did he keep that at his home office?
Yes.
Did you and Eric have a C&E email account?
Yes.
How did that work?
It was a joint email. If you know him or I, you know that we're not technology people. And so one email was enough to handle. So we had one email that we both would look into, that all of our emails would come through. That way we could make sure that we were taking care of each other as well. That seemed to work, and so that's what we did.
Did C&E receive its America First Credit Union bank statements by email?
Yes.
Are you generally familiar with Kouri Richins Realty?
Generally familiar.
Did there come a time when C&E assisted Kouri Richins Realty?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Eric called me, was distraught. I said that some things had happened in their home that.
Object to hearsay.
Sustained. Please rephrase. Or just keep moving.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Sure.
Sir, did there come a time when C&E assisted Kouri Richins' business?
Yes.
How did C&E, without saying anything that Eric told you, how did C&E assist Kouri Richins' business?
There was a loan that was needed to be had for that business that was asked for, where C&E would provide the funds to fund a project, and C&E did provide those funds.
Was that a loan rather than an investment?
It was a loan.
Was it in extraordinary circumstances that caused C&E to loan Kouri Richins money?
There was a need for that loan. There was a need for that money to make sure that financial things were going to happen for reimbursement.
And was that related to a K. Richins Realty project on Franson Lane?
Yes.
And was that in October of 2020?
Yes. I believe so.
And was that approximately $200,000?
Approximately.
Are you familiar with a buy-sell agreement that you and Eric had in place should anything happen to either of you?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a New York life insurance policy, a set of New York life insurance policies that were associated with that buy-sell agreement?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the series of beneficiary changes to the New York life policy on your life in January of 2022?
I was told those happened.
Did you make those beneficiary changes to your New York life policy in January of 2022?
I did not.
Did you ever make any beneficiary changes to that New York life policy?
No.
Did you ever observe Eric Richins make any beneficiary changes to that New York life policy?
No.
Your Honor,
Of course.
Your Honor, I'm approaching the witness with Exhibit 8-49. It's some handwriting exemplars I think everyone's familiar with that I need to lay some foundation on. So can you please turn to tab 2? It's 849. It's the exemplars. Sir, did you collect those business and haircut receipts from C&E's records?
Yes.
Can you turn to tab 3? Did you recover those documents from Integrated Solutions?
I'm looking at an IRS e-file signature authorization form 8879. Is that?
Would you repeat the tab number, Mr. Bloodworth?
Tab 3.
Maybe just take a look to make sure you and the witness are on the same page.
these 4 pages of tab 3. Sir, did you collect those documents from Integrated Solutions, those 4 pages in tab 3?
We requested any signatures that they might have to be sent.
And did they then provide those to you?
Yes.
Sir, can you turn to tab 7, please?
Yeah.
Did you request and obtain from Big D Construction those documents containing Eric Richins' signature?
Same thing. We asked if they had any signatures and if they could send those over. If they did, provide those for us.
And then, sir, tab 13. Did you request and retrieve those documents from the Ford dealership?
I did not request the ones from Labrum Ford.
Okay. The documents at tabs 2, 3, and 7, did you then provide those to Kouri Richins?
Yes.
I'll get that from you. Thank you. Scott, if you can bring up 10-89, please. Defense Exhibit 10-89.
He has it.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we don't have it.
You should. Mr. Wright, can you see that photograph on your screen?
Okay, I can
Okay.
see it on the
Ms. Nestor, can you see it on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll fix that during a break, Mr. Blevin.
Yes, sir, thank you. Your Honor, can the court publish it? Defense admitted this into evidence with mistaking.
Brittany, will you just confirm that that's correct? I don't recall. Yeah, defendants 1089-1089. Trust and verify.
In this portion of the testimony, Eric Richins' longtime friend and business partner, Tony Wright, gives the court a detailed look into Eric's character, work ethic, and daily life before his death. Wright describes Eric as a hardworking, loyal, and driven man who was deeply committed to both his family and the masonry company the two built together. He explains that their business, C&E Stone Masonry, was thriving in early 2022, employing nearly 90 people and handling dozens of active projects. The testimony also highlights the close personal relationship between the two men, spending months together each year hunting, working, and sharing responsibilities as equal partners. As the questioning shifts toward financial matters, Wright confirms that C&E provided a $200,000 loan to support a project connected to Kouri Richins' real estate business, describing it specifically as a loan made under pressing financial circumstances, not as an investment. He also testifies that beneficiary changes to a New York life insurance policy were made without his knowledge or authorization. Overall, Wright's comments offer the jury critical insight into the stability of the business, Eric's dedication to his family, and the financial interactions that later became central to the investigation.